This is Laura Summer, the original Janine Melnitz on The Real Ghostbusters, and you're listening to the Frog Brothers Podcast.
Welcome back to Haunted by Tapes with the Frog Brothers Podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Haunted by Tapes with the Frog Bros. Tonight's feature film is Scream 2.
Scream 2.
I was going to put the case here, but I think it's out in the...
It's a fucking awesome movie. Nick over here doesn't like the Scream movies at all, so
I fucking hate the Scream
you may
movies.
hear us talk highly about this movie. Nick's going to clown on it the whole time.
I did watch it, though, last night.
I mean, this is like my least favorite Scream. But
This is the
That's what I
worst
heard.
Scream sequel.
People don't like the third one either, is that right?
people like... It depends on the person. A lot of people like
No,
this
I mean,
one. There's
like-
things I like about it.
There's elements I love in this movie, but there's also a few things in here that are just like...
I think
Things I like. 1997. Good year. Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven are back.
The movie within a movie thing is awesome. I love
Yes.
that fucking concept.
Stab referencing it. Like, what Scream did when it turned the things upside down, you know, it was like a re-examination of slasher films and all that kind of meta stuff. This movie did, but not as successfully. But it did do like the whole sequels thing. Now, going forward in the movies, they didn't really nail that part of the movie as much. They tried to with the new one with the whole sequel reboot thing, but they're going to fall victim to making another one now? What are they
Yeah.
fucking doing?
Yeah, so this one was interesting because when Kevin Williams sold the first Scream script, he'd already had a 5-page treatment that he wrote along, like basically saying, hey, if this does well, I've already got the idea for the franchise, right? He was thinking ahead with it.
And
There was ideas.
we open up with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
Um,
She has short haircut in this film. Looks great. Looks
she's
nice.
in an audience, and
Looks like she's going to film a G.I. Jane movie.
Waka, waka, waka.
I'm waiting for Will Smith to walk in and slap the shit out of you.
Should one of
No,
us
he
have slapped him?
apologized to
We should have
everybody.
slapped
Never
you and then
gonna do that
apologized
again.
tomorrow.
Right.
Just tag Will Smith in this.
Heather Graham appearing as Casey Becker in the movie Stab is good. I like
Oh,
that.
Yes.
she was Drew Barrymore's character. I didn't even...
Luke Wilson in the Stab movie as well.
Yeah, that's later on, but like
I know, but still, like
the beginning of the movie theater part is so cool. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, that's great up until the fucking bathroom stabbing where he gets fucking stabbed in the ear.
What a fucking weirdo fucking putting his ear up to the...
Yeah, I don't know what those
Stall.
bathroom stalls are made out of, so...
All the ones I've seen are fucking metal or composite
Yeah.
wood, so if
Well,
you can
that-
stab a fucking knife like that all the way through
think
wood,
most
you're
of
a
'em-
fucking superhuman
Most
strength.
of them are metal, aren't they?
Yeah, so that's a little
Maybe like
weird,
the
but
hole in the
again,
wall bars
movies.
might be...
Yeah, you have to suspend disbelief for that. But the thing I thought was funny is like they show the movie starting, but then she's like she doesn't want to go to the Sandra Bullock movie because that movie has already started, but you're already seeing the Scream stuff or the Stab movie stuff going on. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about then?
Yeah.
It's kind of contradictory. I do love the fact that they're handing out Stab costumes for the promotional
Well, then they
purpose
had like
of the film.
Yeah.
animatronic thing outside too. Like they
Yeah,
put
and then
a lot
everyone
of
is-
money into this movie here.
And
Yeah.
then they have everyone there acting like a fucking jackass throughout the theater, right? You know, you see all this.
I'd be pissed. I wouldn't be able to sit there.
Yeah, me neither. I hate that shit.
Especially if I've never seen the movie.
Oh no, yeah. I mean,
Give me some
People
money. I
just
want to get some
annoy me.
popcorn.
She gets popcorn without
You got
butter.
money? I said, give me your money. I got my money, but I want your money. Or whatever the fuck that...
Bitches
It's
be
funny.
tripping.
He comes back... Well, not him. After he's murdered and Ghostface comes back in his jacket or whatever.
I love how the movie within a movie does use the Red Right Hand song again, though, for the
Yeah.
intro to
Yeah,
Stab.
yeah. It's
They use
classic.
it again later too, don't they?
I think so, but that's very noticeable there. And we see the
I
Pepsi
always
cup.
think of Dumb and Dumber for that movie though.
So Pepsi
Or that
was
song.
the sponsor for this theater
Mhm.
in this movie,
Again,
which means no Coke freestyle. God damn it.
yeah, I hate that.
She doesn't like being scared is basically what we're finding out, right? She tells that pretty profoundly.
What?
Jada Pinkett Smith doesn't
Why
like
you,
being scared.
you like going back in time? We already talked about the dude dying.
Oh, yeah. Well, he gets stabbed.
This is a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Exactly.
Right.
It's out of place.
She's talking about how she doesn't like dying, and then Chris Rock appears.
Fucking slaps her.
Exactly. In reverse, like a David Lynch movie. And you hear,
That'd be amazing. Well, then we're in the movie class. With the
film class is fun, yes. I like Mickey.
Mickey's intro in here, right? It's pretty profound.
You get
because,
Randy in there, too, and
Yeah, you find out Randy's in there.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Which they do the whole thing about sequels. Like, name one sequel that's better. They're like, Aliens.
Well, even if not better,
Yeah, they do the typical
there's
ones.
good sequels.
There's
Yeah.
good sequels,
Whether
yeah.
they're better or not, it's kind of subjective. But
Well, and they do it. They go with the Godfather film, right? That's the
they
one
don't
they
say
also do.
Ghostbusters too.
Of course not.
Fuck off, Nick. You're just triggering people. That's your childhood memories of seeing it in theaters versus you actually not having seen the
I
first
saw
one
two in the
theaters.
theater.
Exactly.
That's why you
No,
like
I'm
it
not
more.
saying it's better. I'm just saying
Uh-huh.
it's a good sequel.
It's good.
It's not one of the best sequels.
It's a good sequel. It's not a great
It's a decent sequel.
It's got
An
things
underrated
going
sequel.
for it.
Let's talk about Ghostbusters.
It's not underrated.
Let's talk about Ghostbusters.
He's just trying to get us off the talk of Scream.
Because he didn't watch the movie and he didn't take notes.
I did watch the movie.
Then we get introduced
Quiz
to
me.
The chick
quiz
from
me.
Roseanne's in this.
Debbie Salt. Yeah, she plays Mrs. Loomis that we
I
find
don't really
out
like her
later.
character throughout the movie, though. It's very annoying.
It's
I could do without it.
doesn't have a lot of character either. I mean, a lot. To
Like
do,
the,
really.
the thought of Billy Loomis's mother doing it's very interesting, but that's it. The concept is more interesting than execution. I don't like the character.
If Debbie Salt was Chris Rock, I was wishing for Will Smith to walk up and deck her the whole fucking movie. Because she's fucking annoying in this. Like she's
Violence
just kind of an
against
asshole.
women, huh? All right.
You want Chris Rock to hit a woman?
That's where we're going now, huh?
For this movie, yeah, because her character's an asshole and she's annoying. And we're talking about a fictional movie here.
Which character?
Yeah,
Roseanne
you do see
sister?
how this might make us look bad, right?
Which character
No.
did you say? I missed it.
Debbie Salt.
Who's that?
It's the Roseanne
Say-
broad
That's what I just said.
as Mrs. Loomis.
Mrs. Loomis.
You should know that
By the
name
way,
because
when you're telling these little stories,
Halloween.
here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the
It's too long.
listener.
It's too long. You got too long audio.
You can't just start talking over the sound clip, or I'm going to play it over
too
again
long.
for the future reference.
I thought it was over. It's so long.
You can't just keep opening your fucking big pie yapper.
Ooh,
Your
you got-
cock hole is what
you
I'm
got
going to
pie?
call
How
it.
come we haven't had pie again? We had pie that one day.
Hair pie.
that was for Twin Peaks, you dumb bastard.
I know. Let's have
All right,
pie
so
again.
Gail and Cotton Corner Sydney. Cotton Weary?
Weary.
Stupid fucking name.
It is.
Dude, I'd be a fucking psycho too. if that was me.
This is one of those things where they recreate the punch scene and it's stupid.
Punch.
Yeah.
I can get that they're doing that for the sequel to mock sequels doing things like that, but
Yeah. Bam, bitch went down. That's the only thing missing.
yeah.
Cotton Weary is like, what? This wasn't planned, so he gets pissed at Gail then at that point in time, which is fun. I appreciate that.
Gail is Courtney Cox.
She's talking to Dewey, and he says, very relevant to the Oscars, I don't condone violence, but maybe you deserved it. And I'm not saying because Chris Rock deserved it. I'm saying that because that's what people are
Because women
saying.
deserve it.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
No. So here's the biggest problem with this movie for me. Dewey I like as a character in most of these Scream movies,
God.
but Scream
That
2,
mustache, man. I can't get past that.
I don't even care about that. A bad mustache is a beautiful thing if you have the balls to do it, and that's why you don't
Not
have
on
one.
him.
Doesn't matter. He looks great with it.
He
Don't
looks
judge
hot.
him.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. You wouldn't suck his dick?
Then or now?
Definitely not now.
Which David Arquette dick do you want to suck?
Present or past?
Definitely not now.
Any of them that you want.
Right after he had sex with Courtney Cox.
That's a good answer.
But back
That's
then,
like
not
why
now.
Tom Brady's dad kisses him on the mouth because he wants to taste Giselle. Or they're just weird. Probably.
I was going to say,
Try that one.
I would pick David Arquette from Buffy the Vampire Slayer right after he
in
finished
that movie?
fucking Luke Perry.
He's in that movie.
Yeah, he's one of the vampires.
Yeah, you don't remember that? He's the friend.
Dude, I haven't watched that movie in fucking ages.
I love that movie. I watched it
Oh,
recently.
It's a fucking classic.
Kiefer Sutherland. Vampire
I
Hunter.
saw it at the theater though. I do remember that.
Well, not really Vampire Hunter, but Trainer. whatever.
Yeah, I remember Donald.
But the whole point I was getting to a second ago. So Dewey is like
You had a point.
physically all fucked up from his hands, and so like he's doing this weird mannerisms. And then if you watch Scary Movie, like they take that fucking
I'd rather watch
concept.
Scary Movie.
They take the concept of Dewey from Scream 2 and make this whole fucking asinine character
Doofy?
out of it.
Doofy? I
Yeah.
love Doofy. See, I love Doofy. Let's watch that.
Yeah, but
Why can't
if
we
you
watch
love
this?
Doofy, you have to love Scream 2 because that the only thing that
I'm
Doofy
cleaning my
makes,
room.
the only thing
He
Doofy's
turns out
making-
being a smooth ass fucking guy.
It's pretty hilarious.
yeah.
I saw that at the theater. Scary
Classic.
Movie. Is that the one where they do the cum fountain?
That's Scary Movie 2.
That was 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I saw 2 at the theater also.
2 is good, and 3 is even good. They do Signs with Charlie Sheen as Mel Gibson. Solid.
That's amazing. All right, so we see Sarah Michelle Gellar as a sorority sister, and she's the sober sister, so she's got to tell you that. Like, why are you there? She's like, yeah, I don't want anyone dying in a car crash.
She's sober
Getting a
sister
DUI.
tonight anyway.
Yeah. And that's when you first, like, if you're paying attention, you start catching the names here, right? Especially if you've seen this a bunch. You start noticing, like, the names they start casually mentioning throughout there. It's pretty well done when you look at that from that report. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Don't mind me sometimes I
Report?
say stupid shit.
Well, she ends up, the way she dies is pretty cool, though.
Getting thrown off the fucking roof.
Thrown through the glass, stabbed in the back, then thrown off the roof.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's a pretty crazy, because usually people are stabbed to death in this. So the fact that we get a good kill where someone like falls to their death is
I mean, it's not as
fresh.
cool as Jason punching a guy's head off after
No.
a boxing match on a rooftop in New York City, but
And it's not Freddy Krueger killing someone with the Nintendo Power Glove.
or a fountain of blood.
Yeah. All right. That's funny because Nick just showed us a timely meme of Jason about the Will Smith altercation.
Derek makes. Oh wait. Yeah, so she dies or whatever. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Probably.
And then
Sydney
Sydney
gets
gets
attacked.
called and attacked. Jerry O'Connell shows up. Fucking
Yeah.
Derek.
Derek.
I hate this
Why
guy.
don't you like him?
His character is
You
so
like-
fucking
He's so
annoying.
cringy.
You like Dewey, but not Jerry O'Connell.
Part of
Yes.
it's his fucking like.
Do you understand that I'm part of subculture? I'm not that fucking Jerry O'Connell motherfucker. I'm Dewey if I'm in this movie. Or Randy, better off, really.
Jerry O'Connell's the national treasure.
Jerry O'Connell's like the fucking typical jock
Yeah, he is.
twat bagel in this. And I don't know why I
He's
said
pretty
twat
cool.
He's
bagel.
okay in Piranha when
He's
he's a
cool for a
porno filmer.
Porno filmer.
Yeah, I'm
films
not saying I
porn.
hate all of his roles, but in this he's just playing like an arrogant jock that's like thinks he's cool, and it's really fucking annoying. And I mean, maybe his character's
Only
designed
part
that
I
way.
like with him is the Top Gun scene. It's because it's referenced to Top Gun. Even then, you're just like, can I turn this off and watch Top Gun now, though?
Yeah, I'd rather watch Top Gun than that.
I'd rather watch
Anytime
Top Gun.
he's
I'd
in
rather
this-
watch Scream than Top Gun, but I'd rather watch Top Gun than Scream 2.
And see, I didn't. My other thing with this, I didn't need
Really?
Sydney to
You
have
like
a new
Scream
boyfriend
better
in this
than Top
movie.
Gun?
100%. But I like horror a little bit more than
Yeah.
those types of movies. So, but Top Gun's solid. I mean,
Let's talk about Top Gun.
We can sometime.
it's
We'll talk about it
relevant.
before the new one comes out
Whenever that.
this summer.
Maybe.
July.
Derek gets cut or whatever and makes himself suspect at the hospital when he's like, "Well, you didn't get there fast enough, Dewey." Yeah.
Was Dewey armed at all?
No, he's not a cop right now.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's why Dewey in
I
this
meant to
movie.
He's
rewatch-
limping around just like
I meant to rewatch
Chilling.
the first one before, but I didn't end up with enough.
Yeah, no,
time,
he's
so-
still showing all the signs of the nerve damage from his fucking stab wounds in the first movie.
Okay, I can't remember the first one well enough.
Which they don't really ever establish how he got fucking over it enough to be able to handle a firearm as a fucking sheriff again.
she
but-
also tells him to get lost in that, like she doesn't want to be seen with him and stuff
yeah.
to save his life or whatever. And then that's when he does the song thing, so that he's like, see, now everybody knows. Basically, he's like forcing her hand to hang out with him more.
It's fucking manipulative as
It
fuck.
is kind of
It's
fucked
terrible,
up.
Yeah.
And then he
Being
gives her his Greek letters
romantic.
too, so that he'll get roasted later or whatever.
Romantic.
yeah.
And then you see the Tory spelling is Sydney,
Yeah.
Yep.
and David Schwimmer is mentioned as Dewey, and
Yeah.
Luke Wilson is Billy, which is fucking
I'd rather-
hilarious
I'd
with his
rather-
hair.
His fucking like emo hair. It just reminds me of the little Nicky haircut from Adam Sandler's who he looks like in that
I'd
scene.
rather David Schwimmer was.
He looks
Dewey.
like you 6 months ago.
I didn't have jet black hair though. That's my problem.
I wouldn't call it jet black in that. It was just like a really dark, nasty brown. It wasn't fucking Elvis black. And then Randy goes over the rules, you know. You got to have a higher body count for the sequel, more blood, more creative kills. And then he kind of gets interrupted.
Are the kills in this more creative?
Not really.
I hope not.
No, the only kill that's pretty unique to this one is the rooftop kill, because the first movie had the garage door opener killer, which is pretty cool.
The rooftop kill? The one where she's thrown off?
Yeah, because there's like a multiple sequence there.
And it's just not too exciting. It was cool to watch, but it's not like a super unique.
No, but it's different because in a slasher movie like this, people usually just get hacked to death instead of falling to their death.
Depends on the slasher. I think Freddy Krueger has the most creative deaths because of obvious reasons. It's a nightmare.
Well,
You can do whatever the fuck you're doing.
Dreams, yeah. Reality is no
Jason gets pretty creative.
limitations.
He does, but his are still a little more like rudimentary, brutal, just shit rather than psychedelic nightmare fuel, obviously.
Like, Freddy wants you to die, but you're worried about what Jason's going to do to your body when he's done killing you. He seems a little slow.
Wow.
Or a little fella drowned. So we get to the theater stage scene where we see Sidney and Gus. And Gus, while I don't hate him in this movie, is a goddamn national treasure for his role as a scientist in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the
I fucking
Ooze.
can't think of his name right now.
Because he's a fucking national treasure for that. He helps defeat Toka and Razor.
He was in a couple Star Trek movies also.
I was falling asleep watching this at the end, so my notes, I literally started skipping through shit and falling
you're
asleep
good.
because I've seen it so many times. But
Yeah, so we go through the cult play rehearsal, right? And Sidney sees the ghost face kind of mask within there, flips the fuck out. They stop it. The director comes down and tries to help her through it all.
this whole thing I could deal without. I'm just whatever. I get it, but I don't need it.
They're setting all this bullshit up just to show you that she's going to be on this sound stage later on at the end, like so you can intimidate people with the sounds of that. I get that. I don't need that much early on in the film here, though.
Randy dies.
Randy dies, which is one of the fucking...
I like that whole scene and how it plays out, and they're looking for the person that's being watched, and then he gets pulled into the van.
Randy.
Yeah.
Again, not very creative. But
No.
whatever.
And for one of the most knowledgeable characters in there, I hated seeing
One
him
of the
die
coolest
so early.
characters, too, but just because he knows so much about horror movies, and you're like, all right, this is the guy I would hang out with.
Yeah, and like you're trying to set up a franchise and you kill a main character off in the second movie like that. Like to me, like he survived. Like he's knowledgeable. He had some fucked up
But
shit
at
happen.
the same time, you got to kill some people off so you're not just dragging them through every movie. That's why they did Dewey in the new one, but it was like, whatever.
No.
Now I do want to watch it.
He dies.
Yeah. Yes. You're gonna be happy with that moment.
What part of the movie so I can skip to it?
No, we're not telling you that. You're gonna have to watch the
can
whole
look it up.
thing with us. We're gonna do a commentary.
It's
on
at
that
the
movie
last
just to
5
piss you off.
minutes, but
Well,
make sure you watch the whole
I
thing
haven't
first.
seen the
yeah.
new one yet, so that'd be fine.
Um,
What? Skip ahead a little bit. Do they show that Dewey survives his attack in this one? I don't remember him after the stabbing in the sound room.
They do,
what?
but it's like one of those hospital, or not hospital, but like ambulance shots or something.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
remember.
kind of one of those
Like added insert.
So I knew he didn't die in this, but I couldn't remember.
So Derek arrives there. Sid asks for her distance. Cameraman speech, about Saved by the Bell bullshit.
We're already past this again.
Yeah.
Randy's dead. She gets the computer messages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and someone's like, "Oh, that's an instant messenger."
Then Cotton tries to intimidate her. Security gets on him. He gets questioned.
One of my favorite sequences in this movie is the whole sound studio sequence, which the recording studio, just because I have an interest in audio, I've spent enough time in recording studios. I love that sequence just because I like looking at the background and shit.
Yeah.
The climax of this is kind of really weak, I would say, right? Because you've got Mickey, who's like this pretty cool character, right? He's got some good stuff going on with it, and then he's partnered with Miss Loomis just because, like, they found each other in a chat room. And to me,
they did.
that seemed
Was
like
that a cougar chat room?
Exactly. So that one's kind of fucked up there. You're like, okay, whatever.
Single cougars on AOL.
Mm-hmm. It was basically old men talking to you as they're their wives.
For some reason, I thought Jerry O'Connell was the killer. I thought I remembered that from...
No, they try to play that whole thing out with you to trick you who the killer is in this.
All
the same way.
fantastic, baby.
Yeah, I love Oliphant.
Timothy Oliphant was great in this, and I think
Yeah,
he's
he's-
underutilized because
He's definitely
Yeah, they
the
should have
best-
had more of him being in there
He's
because
the best actor, best part of
he's
this.
kind
in
of
the first one, Billy and Stu, you really get to know them, but you don't think they're the killer. If
Yeah, you don't
like
get-
the first time you're watching.
You don't get to know Elephant. too
well, I mean, you
think.
might kind of be. You're suspicious for sure, but you're kind of suspecting a couple different people.
Yeah, they're trying to set that up too much, where he doesn't have enough screen time for you to really get character development. He just kind of shows up again at the end, like, "Hey, I'm one of the killers," and you're like, "Okay, so what's your motivation?" The movies. I want that to be my, and you're like, it's just really weak character motivation development. Even though he had so much potential earlier on with some of his dialogue and his level of knowledge kind of rivaled Stu's level, right? So it's like, okay, so what happened here? Why didn't this play out that way?
Oh, they get that kidnapping crash scene where they have to climb over Ghostface in the
Oh,
front seat. That's
yeah.
an interesting scene, and then she gets killed anyway, her friend or whatever.
Yeah. But they basically ended out where Miss Loomis fucking shoots.
Jerry.
No, she shoots Mickey and kills him off. She's like, the police would never buy his motive. The movies? That's so stupid.
Oh no, wait, never mind. Oliphant shoots Jerry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And does he die? Did we see that, or is he just injured?
I think he's just injured, but either way.
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was dead.
Okay, well, maybe.
He seemed like he was.
I don't know. And then you kind of get the final climax there where,
If you can call it that.
Isn't a
Yeah.
climax?
This movie just sort of
final
ends.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, like the final.
The end is the worst part for me.
The defeat the villain in this is so fucking boring and.
Yeah, there's no like battle or
Well, it's like guns and stuff. Like any.
Yeah,
I hate it in the Scream.
Yeah, guns in a slasher movie.
Well, I mean, because you're trying to do the real life thing, but like, why would you go through the trouble of stabbing all these people, then to fucking randomly start shooting them? Like, come on, be more creative than that.
Well, they're doing the James Bond villain thing, too, of explaining their plan and everything before they kill them,
Yeah,
which is,
another fucking
Come
film
on.
trope, right? I get that in there because you're trying to have social commentary around the state.
I'm going to write that into a movie scene, but it's going to be like, do you know what the word exposition means? And like get fucking really meta and asinine with it.
You should.
That's Scream 2 though. Like, interesting, timely slasher. I enjoy the movie still. I still watch it, like probably once a year because I watch all the Scream movies frequent-ishly. I like them.
The opening credits in this movie, the first, the opening act with the movie theater thing is fucking amazing. I love that. That's gold. Like, that's a whole great sequence, start to finish. Then some of the other stuff's hit or miss, and then it kind of gets really fucking boring with a lot of just drawn out bullshit.
I just hate most of the end, but I don't mind the rest of the movie. I think it's pretty solid, minus Jerry O'Connell and...
Well, there's a few things. Yeah, Jerry O'Connell didn't need to be in the movie at all because he doesn't really bring you anything to the story. Right? I mean, besides the fact that
Another
he's kind
trauma for her.
He's just kind of friends with Mickey in there, right? And it just shows that, like, and I don't think a woman or anybody that had dated someone that had tried to kill them would be in a fucking relationship 1 year later when they're going to college.
Is he in the movie just as a misdirect?
Basically, yeah, and it's not very
That'd be
well
another
done.
trauma for her.
Just the more you see the movie, yeah, the first time when you don't know, but that really kills the replay value of it, right?
I don't know. I think it's just fun. It's fun. I like horror
Yeah.
movies. I don't take them too seriously. It's fun for me. Because all horror... Like, fucking A. There's, like, 3 Friday the 13th that are good movies. The rest are just entertaining.
Wrong.
Yeah, the rest are entertainment to get to the
They're not
kills and
quality
campiness.
movies. Like, no matter what you say, there's maybe 3 good ones.
Like Academy Award quality, no.
That's what, even as far as horror goes,
think
they're
they're fun.
entertaining.
I think they're fun.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But that's
Scream
your-
2 is fun.
But that's
I'm not
your
saying it's an
number
Oscar-worthy
one.
movie.
He's over here defending his movie like, we never said you can't like Friday the 13th movies that much, Nick. How dare you? We like the Scream movies more than
Obviously,
than
I like
that, but
parts 4 and 5 and 8 a lot. So, I mean, I don't think 8 is one of the best,
don't
but
like
it's
8, brother.
fun. I like it. I enjoy it. I think 4 is probably the best one of them all.
That's the most classic one, yeah.
It's like the most iconic. And
Yeah.
it does the best job with
They always use the poster cover
with
for
moods and shit and everything. Not that we're reviewing that here now or anything, but
Let's
still.
talk about Friday the 13th.
We will at some point. We have already talked about the first one, and we'll get around to the more of those later.
make sure that if you are not following us on social media, you're following us
Make
at
sure
Frog
that you're
Bros
not following
Podcast.
us. That's what he said.
Make sure you're following us on all the social media stuff.
TikTok. We're blowing up on TikTok. Go to
Alec
Frog
is-
Bros Podcast.
Talk or tick?
Alec
Tick
is
or
slaying it on fucking TikTok. We got all kinds of shit on social media, Instagram, Twitter. We're getting all kinds of fun stuff on there.
We're on what's
And we
what's
got to
Trump's
plug it.
social media called?
I don't know. No, shut the
We're
fuck
gonna
up.
go on that.
We're going to go in there to troll people. But join us on Patreon if you haven't yet.
We're on Trump Plus or whatever it's called.
We've got a third. We've got a third commentary that we recorded tonight that's going to be available on there.
For Twista.
So, movie Twister.
So now there's commentaries for Ghostbusters, Lost Boys, and Twister that are going to be on there. So that's pretty slick.
So keep expecting those, and they're not your traditional movie reviews. The Twister one was a lot of fun. We talked about our journey.
They're not movie
there.
reviews. They're commentaries. For
Commentaries.
sure.
Yeah, we're talking about our experience though on there, and we're just kind of chatting through the movie. So.
You could watch them with the movie, which is obviously what a commentary is made to do. But you could also probably just listen to it as a podcast because
And
we're trying to keep it busy too. So we're not.
we had the director with us too. So.
Yeah, John. Well, his mouth was full the whole time, but
He doesn't talk a lot.
Couldn't get a word in edgewise.
speaking of edging, good night, everybody.